Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, let's talk about why trying to help others is a waste of your time and is a drain on your energy. So helping others is great. Like, that's what we're here to do. Like, humans get a great feeling of significance from contributing to the betterment of other human beings, right? We're hardwired to help other people survive, right? We're hardwired to help our families survive, right? So it's our, we all want to feel like we're playing our part, right? Because we're all conditioned to be in a tribe, right? Our brain is hardwired to be in a tribe of 150 people, right? So if we're hardwired to be in a tribe of that many people, we've always felt the sense that we need to contribute something, right? Because if the tribe did not have contribution from its members, then oftentimes, like in the book, if you read the book, The World Until Yesterday by Jared Diamond, it's like a anthropologic study of like human beings, like way before agriculture. And he said that once the elders got to be too old, they would often just let them die, right? And that was kind of like scary, but it let like people know like, hey, if you don't contribute, or if you, even if you get to be a certain age and you feel like, if you're too ill or you don't want to contribute, we have no problem letting you go, right? So it's natural for us to want to contribute, but the problem presents itself when you feel like you want to just enlighten everybody and evangelize everybody and tell everybody about whatever you're learning, right? Or whatever you've discovered, right? I remember back in 2017 when I first discovered like spirituality, self-development, things like this. I would go up to my friends and be like, hey bro, did you hear about this? Like, you should try this. Like, hey, like it helps with this and that, right? And I would also mention it to my family members, right? I would just try to like spread the message, right? And I found myself getting very discouraged, right? Because the problem was that I was telling all of these people I was close to about these different things and remedies and ways about ways to like unravel your thinking and recondition your mind for success. And they were all looking at me like, hey, that's great and everything, but I was like, wait, I'm telling these people about how to like better their lives, but they're just repeating the same behavior patterns, right? Like I'm telling them about these things, but they're still living the same life, right? And they're kind of just ignoring me. Like, they're just, okay, yeah, I'll try it. Yeah, maybe one day. And it's like, I got frustrated, right? And then, years down the line, I've really come to realize that like, you can only help people who like are serious and have kind of like discovered things on their own, right? Like, there's people that I have in my life right now that like, I can tell them something and they'll listen. Like, I can tell somebody about, crypto and they'll listen. Like, one of my best buddies, right? He's into trading. He's in crypto too, but I can talk to him. I can relate to him because he discovered it on his own. I wasn't the one to bring up, self-development, financial freedom, things like this, right? So I wasn't the main precursor when it came to him discovering these different things, right? So people generally will listen to you if they already have a preconceived notion of the thing you're talking about, or they've discovered it on their own before you've brought it up to them, right? So it's very discouraging, like, and it's very sad too. Like, I remember days where I'd be like, damn, like, back in where I'm from in Massachusetts, like I had like no one who was like thinking like me, right? And I'm like, damn, bro, this sucks. Because I'd go to school and like people were just talking about nonsense and things that really just like don't matter, right? Like memes and this girl did this to this dude and this happened over here. This party's over there. Did you hear about this celebrity over here? And I'm like, yo, this is so boring. And this is so like, this is just not me, right? And, one thing I've got more comfortable with also over the years is just accepting that like, hey, that's just what most people are. Like, most people just aren't willing to change. Most people aren't willing to hear something and like change their life based off of what you tell them. Even though what you're telling them is probably the thing they need to hear, most people just don't want to change, right? And, there's obvious reasons for that, right? Like, if you're talking to someone who's 35 or 40, right, and they've been living the same life for the past 20 years, past 30 years, right? Doing the same patterns, living the same way, right? You know, it's like at a certain point, they're just like, all right, like this is just what life is for me. Like I just go to my job, I just do this, I do that, I eat this food, I go to this party, I hang out with these people, and that's it, right? And then they don't want to hear any input that could better their lives because, you know, most people, they're just lazy. Like most people just, when it comes down to it, really what it is obviously it's the fear of change, right? But really what it comes down to is people are just lazy and don't want to do the work. They don't want to suffer, right? And what I've come to realize is like, that's really what it boils down to. That's the root cause of like why people don't want to hear what you have to tell them. Because usually like when you are telling people about real life things, it typically requires them to think outside the box and do things that they've never done before, right? And most people don't want to step outside of their comfort zone, even if the thing is like not that hard to do. Like investing in crypto is easy, right? I just press sell, I just press buy and sell, right? I'm not doing any hard work. Obviously I had to do the hard work to come up with the money to invest, but the actual investing part of it is I just click buttons, right? So it's not always hard work, right? Obviously telling someone to go to the gym is hard work. Telling someone to fast is hard work. Telling someone to go out and do 10 cold approaches is kind of like hard work, right? Because you got to go out, you got to talk, right? You got to spit game, you got to do this, right? So these things are difficult. Some of these things are difficult, right? And what it boils down to is that people are just lazy, right? And they don't want to do the work, even though they know, like you can ask someone, you can explain to someone how the new thing that you're telling them to do will change their life. And they can like internalize it and see how it will change their life. And they can see 5 years down in the future and see like how their life could be different than it is now and how it could be so much better. And they can still be doing the same things. And they can still just look at you and be like, I see what you're saying, but I just don't want to do it, right? And you have to be okay with that. I used to get really rattled up. I used to get really frustrated when I saw people like just completely ignore what I had to say or just not be interested. It's not like they like didn't want to hear what I had to say. It's just, they just weren't interested in doing the thing that I proposed to them. And that's totally fine. It's totally okay. What you really have to realize at the end of this, the big picture here is that 90% of people are just not made to succeed, man. They're just not made to exceed any limitations by any degree, spiritually, emotionally, in relationships, in their finances, in their health, in their mindset, in their changing their belief systems, in their mental health. Some people are just meant to be average all across the board, right? And you have to look at it and kind of smile because it's like, think about it. If everyone's deciding to be average across the board, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to stand out, right? If the average person doesn't want to approach girls, doesn't want to go to the gym, doesn't want to invest, doesn't want to learn skills, doesn't want to work hard, doesn't want to do extra hours, right? Doesn't want to eat correctly, doesn't want to do any of the things we know we have to do to better our lives, then so be it. Let them suffer. Let them be peasants, right? And then it'll be easier for you to rise to your kingship. A lot easier because it's like, hey, the competition is like nothing now, right? So I used to like get mad because I'm like, damn, like people aren't listening to me. Like this sucks. But I've just come to realize like, hey man, people will hear about things and change if they want to. And if they don't, I just learned to let them be, right? You got to let people be. If people ask you for your opinion or ask for your advice, of course, give it to them, right? But you never want to be the person who's like going out. It's like, you know, I'm not against Christianity, but it's like preachers, right? Or it's like poor people on the street preaching Jesus, right? It's like, I hear you, bro, but it's like, hey man, like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want to be lectured on Jesus, right? And some people don't want to be lectured on health, on finance, right? It's the same, like, reason. It's the same, like, thing. It's like, hey, sometimes people just don't want to feel like they're being told what to do, right? And hey, it is what it is, but you just let people be and you do your thing. And, you know, the results will unfold in your life when you do the work. You don't need to feel like you need to like prove something to everybody or, you know, I know you want to help people, but sometimes you just got to let people be and let that be what it is. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.